there's a lot of craziness in this space, and I'm sure that you have made some mistakes in the past, right? And in my opinion, a mistake is only a failure if you really don't learn from it, and don't look to reflect on it and then act upon it afterwards. So based on your experience, right, as a project founder yourself, what has been the best and the worst takeaways you've encountered during your time of building out your project, and growing your community and brand in this space?
Yeah, that's. Let me let me make sure I think about this one correctly here. Um, you know, one I guess a mistake that I've I like to think I've learned from it, but it's constantly an evolving kind of you know approach. But at first, when I was built pre-launch, when building Ascended, I was spending from October until mid late January, like just every single moment of the day on Discord, along with actually building the project, but just staying up till all hours of the night and like getting up in the morning and just living on that, interacting with the community constantly, and just really that was my life. And it was great. It was taxing, but it was great. But then when we got to post mint, then I was like, okay, now we gotta like buckle down. We really have to build out all these things. I can't like be spending the same amount of time that I used to on Discord, because there's just like I was also working a full-time job at the time. I'm like, there's just not enough hours in the day. And so I took a very, very radical approach with scaling back that like to the if all my time was spent on Discord before, I almost checked in like once every couple days and did a really hard reversion. So I think that was a mistake. Moderation would have been key there, and having the community such an important aspect, of course, too. But that was something that I had to learn. And I think too, after the mint, you do get introduced to maybe some more of the FUD, or people have high expectations now, and you have to address those. And having it can be a little bit draining on kind of the mental what would you say, mental health thing. I always saw people talk about that, and I didn't brush it off, but I'm like, come on, it's an NFT project. It's not like you're going into open heart surgery. But if you do read enough kind of negative stuff all day, it can start to get to you a little bit, and you can start to withdraw. And I think realizing most people have their heart in the right place, and they want what's best for the project, and taking your own kind of personal feelings a little bit off the table, and realizing that has been helpful. And we do have a fantastic community with Ascended, so I'm lucky. I don't get to complain about that kind of stuff. But um, that was that's something I'm still, I feel like I'm still trying to find the right balance for, because it's just an hours in the day type thing. But the good thing is we do have an amazing team, and community managers, and everybody to also help out with that. And they're really holding it down. So I'm lucky in that way as well. Uh, the other, I think one of the better things I've learned too is, um, when we were our original idea for to start with, after launch, was to release a staking game. So not kind of a game that people would like to play, but it was kind of a cute staking mechanism that was gamified. And really, it was going to be a couple $100,000 to do. And we thought, like, that was what other projects had done, that it had been successful, and people were hyped about it. And I didn't really take a second to really, I knew it's not something I would play or I really got, but I was like, well, it's working. Like, you can't, don't go against the grain. Like, that you're missing something here. And then after a while, um, after more thinking about it, and after there were some things that came up that made it a bit tougher with our developers to accomplish this, because of the thing in the Ukraine, the conflict in the Ukraine, and all that stuff. It made me take a step back and realize, like, hey, maybe just because inertia is pushing, this way, doesn't mean that's the way to go. And from there, we pivoted to our NFT Worlds game, which we're really excited about, because it's going to be really fun. And there's it's not the NFT technology isn't the selling point. It's just a way of, utilizing digital ownership, and at the forefront, it's the game, it's the, fun experience, and it's something I can be really proud of and excited about, coming from, just being a gamer. So noticing when you're just going with a trend for the sake of going with a trend, and because it's what everybody else is doing, versus actually now this time sticking to your own conviction. So there's always a balance between, being convicted. That's probably not the right way to say that. Having conviction and also listening to the community. But
Yeah, that was perfect. I think that you really hit the nail on the head right there too. Because we talk to a lot of projects themselves. First off, I we are both our team is really excited for NFT Worlds, and your game to come out on that end too. I mean, it's something that Steve and I've been talking about. I know we had our part to at least talk about it beforehand,
yeah.
before, and it's something that's just so different and so amazing too. We can't wait for that. And on top of that, right? I love the fact that you're bringing up mental health, because I see this time and time again. I go on Twitter, and I'm sure all of you in here have gone on Twitter before and seen people say, "Oh, I'm so burnt out," or "Oh, this and that," from being in this space. I know, especially when I first got into this space, I was spending so much time on my phone, on my computer, that I didn't even know what day it was, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like I gotta take a step back for a bit and really reflect on how I view just life in general, and how I really want to take action in this space. Because again, like, everyone in here, in this space, wants to succeed so bad, and that's what I love about it. But at the same time, too, they let that idea take over and manifest in their heads so much that they don't give enough time to really focus on their health and on their mental state too. So both of that is extremely important. And again, what comes with success if you're going to be, sick in bed and bedridden the whole entire time, right? There's no way to enjoy that success if you're going to be in that spot. So I love the fact that you're taking upon that, and also the fact that you said it yourself. I mean, there's projects out there that go out and they come out to us and they're like, yeah, we want to do this, we want to do that, and we take a look at it and we're like, well, this is what we see this project do, and this project do, and this project do. Like what can differentiate you, right? What can really make you stand out amongst your competitors and really take you into that blue water, like we like to say a lot, right? Because again, there's a lot of people and a lot of projects out there that kind of like to bounce off the same idea, and it's really funny because once you start to invest enough in the NFT project, you see the same bunch of people, kind of in a crowd, going from one project to the next, kind of investing, right? And so they all see the same kind of the same cycle that's going on. And I'm sure Richard would like to add, and Stephen too, from being in the space a lot. That's just a little bit of my 2 cents, but yeah, I'll let them take it from there too.
So I mean, just real quick. So I mean, I think the biggest thing, whether it's NFT, Web3, Web2, it's going in. If you go in with pure intentions and truly wanting to make a difference and help others, everything else pretty much falls in place, right? If you worry about doing good, profit, all that other great stuff is a naturally occurring byproduct that stems from helping others, right? So I think as long as you see that that you're adding value, and that you're being realistic and you're not rushing. I mean, obviously this space moves really quick, but again, remember the times we're in, and make sure that you have a linear plan, right? Something that's easy to execute, where you can show along the, all along the way, that everything you say you're able to produce, right? And that's linear, right? You can draw a line through it. Things like that, that's what we're looking for right now. We're not looking for, hey, get me to the moon. It's produce an experience that's different, produce an experience that's going to, connect me, that's going to give me, the gang, the friends, the next level happiness, the utility, right? And I think that's the other thing too, is also focusing on, giving again, like utility, the utility's gonna drastically change, right? And I think marketing and a lot of other things, again, like the scene, I love the artists, I love everything that's going on, but they're not teaching a lot of business. And we know from business and strategy statistics, again, you make 80% from your 20%, from your top 20%. And you're going to see a lot of these classes, right? This will be taught in school and everywhere else, but you'll see hodling mechanics. You're going to see, different elements that are going to permeate, that are going to take the whole experience to another level. Like I think, I'm predicting in the near future that you'll see a lot of artists take it for their top 5-10% of collectors, that there'll be things like all-inclusive utility. There'll be there are going to be elements to where, for a lot of these drops, right, where, everyone that has one gets a shot. Well, I think, you'll see, the other 80-90%, that random element will still be there, right? Because you need to reward, the masses. But for the top collectors, and this will be, a competitive thing, ever changing, they'll be fighting for those spots to have guaranteed rights to different drops. And you're going to see some really cool stuff we're predicting for the collectors and for the top people to reward that, and they really get these whales to start working their magic and taking this market to heights that you've never seen before. So buckle up, it's coming.
That was beautiful. I couldn't have said it any better. I think every time that we end with Steven, he's always like, yeah, you guys said it all. Like, I can't really say much else.
Yeah. It's just such a great conversation. It's hard to add on. I mean, real quick though, I do want to mention that I really liked what Swagger said about, focusing less on building on the current trends and really just focusing on, making innovation through what your pure passion is. And, I truly believe, like, nothing works harder than passion. If you have it, you are gonna make it. Like, if you set your mind on something and you work towards it each and every single day, and you work on getting better each and every single day, no matter if it's in increments or what, it helps tremendously in the long run. And that's why I think a lot of people get it wrong, because the space does move so fast. But the one thing that you do have to realize is learning and absorbing all this information. That's the one thing that you do have to take slow, and you do have to really spend a lot of time to focus on and, push it out. And, I don't know. I think what you mentioned there was awesome. And I really appreciate that perspective.